Hey everybody, it's me again. Welcome, and I hope everybody's had a wonderful week. So what I'm gonna do real quick, because I've had a couple of requests. It looks like you guys really like my pineapple upside down cake. So I figured I'd do another box cake, or a variation of, I guess. And this is gonna use fruit. It's called a dump cake, and you guys have probably heard of them. They're really easy to make, and they're called dump cake because you're basically dumping everything into a pan and you're making it. So for this, we've got some white cake mix, just plain. You can get whatever brand you want. I've got Pillsbury. I think it was probably on sale. That's why I grabbed it. You need some pecans. You can use walnuts, whatever nuts you like. I prefer pecans. I've got peaches, but two different kinds. This one is a pie filling peach, and this one is a just regular peach and heavy syrup. And then you're gonna need a half a cup of butter, which is gonna be a stick. I'm gonna use salted. I kind of like the contrast between the salty and the sweet, so sometimes I'll use salted just depending on what I'm making, but you can, of course, probably recommend that you use unsalted, just depending on your taste, but I'm going to use salted. And I got my bowl and everything, and this is what we're going to make it in. I'm going to go ahead and rinse this out. There's only a few steps to this. It's really easy to make, and I haven't made one of these in a while, so I'm kind of excited to see what the outcome is going to be. Did that, and I'm actually going to spray the pan with some non-stick. So I've got my Baker's Joy. I love Baker's Joy. Any of these sprays, as long as they've got flour in them, that'll help keep it from sticking. You could also, actually, what might be better for this one moment. Didn't even think about it. Gonna use some Country Crock to actually butter the pan so we can get that nice crispy buttery taste versus the spray. You can still go over the top of it with spray if you want to. I usually will use paper towel. It's clean, and I'll just kind of rub this in there to coat it because I don't want it on my hands. I want to eliminate as much of it on my hands as I possibly can. And just kind of get that buttered up. That's my pan. I'll still hit it with some spray. Awesome. So, got that done. So, pan's all the way coated. Now I need to get these bad boys opened up. I like to try to wipe these cans off, kind of keep them clean because they've been sitting in the store and I don't want anything to fall. Alright, so we'll start with the wet ones, or the wettest ones. And get those opened up. Now you can do this with a couple of different things. You can do like a pineapple upside down version of this, which I'll eventually make. But I feel like peaches, so it's going to almost kind of be like a cobbler, sort of. But you can pretty much do this with any cake mix that you have. You can make your own variations. You could do like a devil's food with some raspberries in it, or a dark chocolate. So I'm going to take these guys. Get some of that paper. And what we're going to do with the recipe is we're going to dump all those in there. And this is a 29-ounce can. I got the biggest can I could get. And then we're going to take our pie filling ones. Dump those in there. There's some of that left. You want to get all that goodness out of there. All of that heavy, thick syrup. Try to combine these a little bit because the pie filling ones are a lot thicker than the other ones. So I'm just going to kind of stir it around and mix it. It smells amazing. So once you just kind of whip it around, you can kind of see how it's incorporating itself. So I would just eye it and make sure that it's blending fairly uniform. I think that's probably good because we're going to do some more stirring anyway. You want to get your cake mix opened up. Go grab something, be right back. So what you want to do with this is you really want to just sprinkle it. You're going to mix it until it's just combined, but I'll sprinkle it over the top. You might have to do this in phases, so I'm going to start incorporating this. And in the meantime, you need this melted, so go ahead and get your butter melting. And the good old microwave will be just fine. We're also going to go ahead and get the oven preheated. I'm going to preheat to 350. So the oven's preheating. You're going to kind of start mixing this in. It's not like you're actually going to mix it all the way, but you do want to incorporate it as much as you can. And that's why it's good to use a can of like heavy syrup peaches, because it's going to give you that liquid. Check on this butter here. It's popping. Got probably 20 more seconds. I'm going to come in with the rest of this, and we're going to check back on that butter. I don't want to make a mess in the microwave. That's as melted as it needs to be, really. So this is probably the most time-consuming part of this. You want to try to incorporate this as much as you can. It's kind of like you're making the batter. So you want to make sure all of that cake mix gets wet. Almost look like a dough. It's going to be delicious when it's done. Just kind of keep shifting it around. I would honestly, the spatula like I have is probably going to be the best thing to use. It's non-stick. Use a spoon, but I think this works a lot better to kind of fold everything in and fold it together. Folding it. Just going to incorporate it so it's going to look like batter. Still have some dry pieces in there, that's fine. It's not going to be like we're blending it in our KitchenAid or anything like that. I think that is probably about as incorporated as this is going to get. Smell came through. You guys would be able to smell this. It smells amazing. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with this. So you guys can see what it looks like. Put this tissue away. There's a rag right there. Some more trash. Now here comes the fun part. We take our pecans, and I've got chopped ones, like I said. Get these. A good handful, and just kind of sprinkle them all over the top of it. You can do pretty much whatever you want. I mean, if you want it heavily coated, you can, or you can just do kind of a little light layer. I'm probably going to err on the side of doing a little bit lighter of a layer of these because it's a texture thing for me. So I'll fill in a few gaps. That looks good. Get my air out of this bag. Keep them fresh longer. So you got the nuts on there, and you're going to take this butter that you melted. You're going to just pour it all over the top. So this butter is going to bake down as it cooks, and it's going to make it nice and butter. It's going to be really good. So, cake's mixed. It's put together. We're going to get it in the oven and cook it 35 to 40 minutes. But honestly, if you're accustomed to baking, you can kind of watch it and judge when it gets to where it needs to be just based on your oven. I usually like to go to kind of a light brown. Try not to do well because then it's going to be drier. But we're going to get this in the oven. I've actually got to adjust my racks when I bake because this oven gets really, really hot. I usually like to adjust my racks. They're both at their lowest position. I usually take the one that's on top and I move it up one notch. And like I said, you'll learn, you know your oven, so you know how to cook it. But I like to err on the side of caution, especially with this one. So I'm going to reinforce this as well. This is one of those chafing pans. So I'm going to sit it on top of a cookie sheet. There we go. So you guys can see what it looks like. I'm going to get this in the oven. And we're going to have this go for 35 to 40 minutes. I'm going to set my timer for 40 minutes just to give it enough time, but I am going to be watching it. Hey Google, set a timer for 40 minutes.
All right, 40 minutes. Starting now.
So, that's it. We're going to get this baked, and I'll do a follow-up video once it gets done, and you guys will see what the finished outcome is. If you guys have any questions about the recipe or anything or comments, please comment below, and don't forget to subscribe and like, and we'll follow up soon. Take care.